Hey Dreamers, Bryce here from Midnight Notion, singer-songwriter, musician, and a big fan of Metallica. I spent 115 days grading every song in their catalog so far, and I still have a few ties that need to be broken. So, we are going to battle today for 33rd place. Who do you think's gonna win? Let's find out. Cue the intro.
So Ted, give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! My Apocalypse versus Atlas Rise. This is a pretty interesting battle. I don't know what to say other than that I'm excited to get right into it. We have to just make sure that you know what I'm doing here, though. They're being compared on the following criteria. We have structure, flow, melody, engagement, and lyrics. There's no score. We're just pitting them. Whichever one wins, that's the one that wins. And the one with the most scores at the end gets the overall victory for 33rd place. And the other one gets 34th. Low stakes, but we got to do it. Play along at home. Hit that subscribe button. And let's get right on into this battle. Here we go. Round 1, structure. Let's take a look at My Apocalypse's structure first. We have the intro, which is essentially just the main riff, so I'm not even going to call it an intro, even though we have some hits in the first part and then we go into the main riff. It's still the same riff, so it's the main riff. Then we have the verse, which is still the main riff. We have a pre-chorus, and then we cross that line in the chorus. Back to the main riff again. We've been here before. Another verse. Another pre-chorus. Another chorus. And of course the main riff again before we have this sudden stop. We're going to call this section the bridge section because there's a lot of stuff moving, and I'll tell you, we actually come back to this. So we're just going to call this bridge for now. It could be a breakdown because of the stops, but we're calling it a bridge. Then we get a bridge verse. And then we get a solo, which is just, the way that they come into that is just epic. We've got the breakdown, which is just a little bit different from the bridge, right? Just a completely different riff. Just kind of rocky. And then we go into this new riff, which I didn't know what else to call this. It's a second bridge, maybe? A new riff? And that riff contains a different bridge verse. It's not the same as the first bridge verse. And then we have the bridge again. That's why I called it the bridge, is because it comes back a second time. And it's building up into another verse, another pre-chorus, one final chorus, and then the outro is completely new as well, just chugging on the one note with the triplets on the way out. So structurally, with just lyrics in mind, we have verse, chorus, bridge, second bridge, if you will, and then verse, chorus. So very similar A, B, A, B, C, B structure, but when we get to the C section, we have two of those. So pretty simple structure. Let's take a look at the structure for Atlas Rise, which, boy howdy, hold on to your butts. We've got what I'm going to call the hook, because this riff is an important riff that comes throughout the song. We've got a main riff eventually, which is taglined by the hook. And then we finally got our verse. We've got a pre-chorus. And then we've got the chorus. Back to the main riff with another hook on the tail end. We've got another verse, another pre-chorus, and another chorus. Then things get interesting. We got a little breakdown here. We've got a bridge section. We have a solo. And we've got that hook in there again, once more. And boy howdy, another solo. And another breakdown, right? This breakdown is pretty fun. We have another hook, another verse, another pre-chorus, another chorus, a main riff, the hook again, and for some reason we got to come back to that main riff one more time and finish off with one more hook. Now, if I took out all the hooks and all the weird the interludes in between, we really just have verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus. So ultimately, even though we have all of this extra meat in here, it's not that different. They're pretty similar songs. If you want to get technical about drum and guitar parts, then it looks like one of these songs is a clear winner. It's got such a unique platform. But if you look at lyrics and where the lyrics go and what order they come, it's actually two songs that are very similar. The only difference is that one of them has two bridges. And so other than that, it's a pretty similar structure to almost every song. So how do you gauge two songs that have a very similar structure? Let's look at the other structures. Speed, time signatures, tempo and speed are the same. What other structures are in there? How many times does one song use hooks that come in and out? What song uses the 3+1 rule? Which songs are engaging you more throughout the song? What other tricks are they using? Really, when you look at My Apocalypse, it's straight 4/4 almost all the way through, and you never get any sort of break in the structure. It's a very straightforward thrash all the way through. There's a little halftime groove in the pre-chorus, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward thrash. When you look at Atlas Rise, by comparison, you see time signature changes all across the board, unexpected changes that flow pretty well. And so altogether, I have to say the winner, to me, structurally, is Atlas Rise. Round 2, Flow. On the other hand, we have a really fast thrasher song that does have some big, and it does stop and then build back up, and then it stops again and it builds up again. Right when we stop in the solo, and we stop again and we bum 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 bum. It's got some really nice breaks in the flow to keep us interested, so it's not just the whole time through. When you look at Atlas Rise, we have these interesting hits and we have these interesting sections with time signature changes all across the board. And yeah, you can pretty much bob your head the whole way through, but an average listener might get off put by all of those extra adds. When that hook comes in, it comes in at odd spots and you might, we're here again. Oh, we're here again. And admittedly, the chorus isn't much to speak of. So altogether, for flow, in my opinion, the winner is My Apocalypse. Round 3, Melody. If you look at My Apocalypse, the whole song, almost all the way through, ba-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, it kind of stays within a really short range. Whereas Atlas Rise, and then Atlas Rise, the range in his vocals is so much higher, and the licks, just the dun 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 dun, is a riff that can come, like you can play that multiple times. We can look back at the structure section. It comes throughout the song, and it's so intriguing. Every time I could sing it every time it comes through. Back to My Apocalypse, you have a really cool the little riff in the bridge section, really interesting. Back to Atlas Rise, you got the dun 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 dun, really headbangy stuff. Ultimately, both of them have things that are really fun to sing and really catchy. It gets stuck in your head. So ultimately, it comes down to the vocal performance. And when you look at the range from the bottom of the bottom note to the top of the top note, the only winner, in my opinion, is Atlas Rise. Round 4, Engagement. This one is really, really tricky because the only real engagement for both songs is a very similar section. We have cross, that, line, versus all you bear, all you carry, all you bear. It's really just the three, I don't know how to use my fingers. It's really just those three pieces from each song. How do you gauge the audience participation? Because at the end of the chorus for each one, you just got suffer unto my apocalypse and Atlas Rise. It's a very similar structure. So really what it comes down to is the name of the song showing up. We have My Apocalypse, apocalypse, apocalypse. That comes multiple times at the end, but Atlas Rise is only 2 words. I guess My Apocalypse is only 2 words as well. It's a very weird battle, but really, My Apocalypse, if you divide it into syllables, My Apocalypse versus Atlas Rise. 3 syllables, shorter, easier to sing. In my opinion, engagement, this one goes to Atlas Rise. Round 5, lyrics. Let's take a look first at My Apocalypse. I don't want to get too much into rhyme scheme on every single video, but it is interesting to me. So we've got claustrophobic, crawl out of the skin, hard explosive, reach in, pull that pin. So we have an A, B, C, and B. So unless you phobic, explosive, it's not really a slant rhyme. I wouldn't call that. Let's take a look at the other verses. Vision, reveal, magnetic, still is a slant rhyme, but technically A, B, C, B. So that carries in through all the verses. The final one, claustrophobic, climb out of the skin. Look at the difference there. It's a callback, claustrophobic, crawl out of the skin. Hard explosive, reach in, pull that pin. So it's almost the same as the first verse, but for some reason they chose the word climb. And I find that really intriguing. When you're writing lyrics, having some sort of a build to them is interesting. And the other thing about this final verse is that it adds another section. Each verse has only been 4 lines. You see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we get to that final verse, we add another 4 lines. Same, I guess this one actually, instead of A, B, C, B, it's A, B, A, B. I as in denied, annihilate, exterminate. It's a very interesting rhyme structure there. But not just rhyming structure, the words, the use of growth from crawl to climb. Very interesting. Crawling is a lot, I don't know which verb is harder. Crawling sucks, but climbing makes it even more difficult maybe. My favorite part of the song has to be crushing metal, ripping skin, tossing body, mannequin, spilling blood, bleeding gas. Mangle flesh, snapping spine, dripping bloody Valentine, shatter face, splitting glass. Spitting glass, rather. Split apart, spit it out. Spit out the bone, right? This section has such an interesting artful craft to it. I know that the whole song is really covering, the end of days, personal dead, right? It's not just deadly vision prophecy. Like the death magnetic, the pulling you closer to the grave is really what we're getting at here. And I could dive into these lyrics for so long, but really you should just go watch my video on this song, My Apocalypse, and I'll dig a little bit deeper in there. But there's some really interesting stuff here in these lyrics. I got I guess my biggest problem is the ending. Tyrant awaken, my apocalypse. Demon awaken, heaven awaken, suffer forever. I don't know so much about these words, tyrant, demon, and heaven. It's not that they're bad words. It just seems odd. It feels like it feels, I don't want to say amateur, but James can do much better. It feels maybe a little on the nose for me. Let's take a look at Atlas Rise. Again, the rhyme scheme, burden, thee, sorrow, eternity. So we have an A, B, C, B rhyme scheme. Nothing unique really in the structure of the lyrics, except for maybe that all you bear repeats a second time. They're using this sort of A, B, A, C, instead of just, it's both rhyme scheme and use of the words, right? So all you bear repeating, that's really interesting. This song is a little bit more about the carrying the burden, someone carrying the burden, and whoever is singing the song, the voice of the song, is looking to take some of that burden off of that. Place it right on me, right? Place it right on me. This is the invitation to take all that this person is bearing, the Atlas in the situation, and give it to whoever me is in this situation. We have a lot of very surface level lyrics, right? And what I mean by that is There's no real words in here that kind of stand out as stuff that you wouldn't use in every day. People hold grudges. People have perception. People talk about rejection and perfection, and deem the mass and blame rejection. Not many people will say deem the mass, right? But what I'm saying is that there's no words in here that are really standing out to me. Die as you suffer in vain. I have heard all of those words like recently in everyday life. Blame the world, blame your maker, wish him to the undertaker. Nothing really stands out the same way to me as they did in My Apocalypse. They're really good intent behind these lyrics, but the words themselves don't scream, hey, this is a really unique set of artfully crafted words. So the question is, do lyrics have to have really artfully crafted words, or do they have to have a good intent? Because while I like the words of My Apocalypse better, I like the intent of Atlas Rise better. Which one wins out? Well, it's all about how they come out, because sometimes you write really basic lines and they just sing really nicely. They flow off the tongue really well. It's really difficult to pick because you're pitting a song that has a medium tempo that is easy to sing against a song that goes ba 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 really fast. And so ultimately for me, I have to go with the flow, the lyrics that have the most flow in connection to the song. Again, Atlas Rise. And so with a score of 4-1, the winner of this round is Atlas Rise. Now, you tell me in the comments below, which one should have won this battle? Did I get it right with Atlas, or does My Apocalypse deserve a little bit more love? Use my method, tell me which one wins each round, and then tell me which one is the overall winner for you. Then make sure you check out Midnight Notion. My music is available all over the interwebs, and I would appreciate the streams. Really, the shares are super, super helpful, so tell your friends about it. And of course, smash that subscribe button. Why? Because tomorrow we're dealing with another three-way tie. For 30th place, it's the epic battle between Devil's Dance, Carpe Diem, and Bad Seed. Ooh, going all the way back to Load and Reload for this one. I hope you enjoy. Which one do you think is going to win? I'll see you there. You're awesome. Thanks for watching.